Hello everyone, and welcome to the official SWGT YouTube channel. My name is Sarusa. Today we're going to take a look at SWGT Update 5.12.9, which has many bug fixes, tweaks, enhancements, and quality of life updates. Let's take a look. The first update today takes us over to the public site as well as the guild sites. Up in the top, I've made some logo changes, so now when you're on a guild site, you'll see what version of SWGT Guild you have currently enabled, whether you have Guild or Guild Plus. And then Personal Plus was always there, but I just made a bunch of changes in order to make it all match. The next update takes us over to the Rune Graph area. And down at the bottom, there was a colorization issue with dark mode and blue. So if we scroll back in time, you'll see that I've gone ahead and made some changes to make it a little bit more readable. Next update takes us over to the artifact detail area, or the recent artifacts. And so there was an issue where when you clicked on this button and the artifact was on a collaboration monster, it would not show up properly. So I have gone through and fixed that. There's also a bug on the monster catalog where the collaboration monsters, you couldn't search for EZO here. But that bug is fixed as well. And while we're here, I've also added a couple of new things as well. I have added a view for just all the fusion monsters. And then I have added the coin here on the fusion monster itself. On screens that are not touch enabled, I also have added a hover so you can see the monster and the skills that it has easily. And then on the monster view page, I have gone through and added in the fusion as well. Also, while we're here, if we go back to the monster catalog, on the monster catalog itself here, there was an issue with imperfect monsters, which is a legacy thing from the game from the Japan version, I think. And so when you searched for Magic Knight, you actually wouldn't get the Wind version because there actually is an imperfect version of this. And so because there's an imperfect version of this, it's not the lowest version, I guess is the way to phrase it. So the way that SWGT adds in the text for Magic Knight is based on the monster's unawakened form. And because the unawakened form is not an obtainable unit, it would come back as blank. So unfortunately, when the search engine ran, when you search for Magic Knight, it's not there. Of course, it is actually blank, and so it wouldn't show up in the results. So I have gone through and made changes there as well. The next update line takes us over to the setup menu under my profile. And so anytime you upload a JSON, previous version was actually just taking all of your character information for your monsters, for your runes, your artifacts, and just essentially wiping it out and then inserting everything fresh. And that's all well and great, and it gives us perfect data. But the underlying issue is that there are so many people now in SWGT that when people are doing it multiple at a time, it becomes a huge server load. So I have gone through and rewritten the entire upload function, both when you're using the plugin itself or when you're uploading it manually. But basically what processes the character JSON has been completely rewritten. It's a big enhancement. So if you guys see any weird bugs, of course, let me know. But essentially the system has an algorithm built in now to detect changes to your account, and then we only make the changes themselves. So before, a character JSON could take anywhere between 14 and 16 seconds to upload. I've got it down to about 1.5 to 3 seconds right now. So obviously the first upload, it's 100% new, so it'll take that time to upload everything, of course. But then every upload thereafter becomes a whole lot faster because there's obviously a whole lot less changes. So I have gone through and made a lot of improvements there. I'm very happy with how it came out and how it looks. While I was in that function, I also made some changes to how monsters are imported into the system. So in the version before, if it was evolved to a 5-star or greater, or if it were a Nat 4 or better, then it would automatically import the monsters. That was all well and great until you have things like Rainbow Mon. I personally use Rainbow Mon as storage for monsters. Grom, I can hear you yelling at me in the background. But anyways, these monsters wouldn't come and get imported during the overall JSON process, and so they would show up as an unknown monster. So a lot of people were like, that's not really great. It doesn't help me find the rune. So I did go through and make a change. I have only made the change, and I've only included it here on the rune and the artifacts area. I have not made changes to the monsters tab. So even though you are importing the monsters, you won't see all of the Rainbow Mon or all the other monsters that you have added. So this still shows only the monsters are going to be evolved to either a Nat 3 or better, and then evolved, of course, to 5-star or better. So really good functionality in general in order to help you find your runes, but didn't impact the overall. But of course didn't impact the overall monster view page as well. The only one thing that you can do technically is you can go back to here and you can go to one of these runes and you can go on to one of the rainbow mon and you can see all of the runes that are actually on here. So there's no other way to get to this monster except for from those actual monster images. You can't actually go up to your monsters area and actually get to these monsters that way. On the SWGT Personal side, if we go to my profile and we go to my settings, these two were not saving. You can't see it because it's actually off the screen, but it wasn't actually saving anything over 1,000 for the number of runes to show. So I have gone through and made that bug fix there. I did go through and add in a piece of text up here where if you've actually searched for something, then just letting people know that if you're an SWGT Personal subscriber that you do have multiple options. So if I search, for instance, Kamoon, Vigor, Skogul, you'll see that by default, I came back with only no results. And so I'm sure that is, of course, frustrating, but that's because SWGT Personal Plus subscribers get their own repository of counters. And so you can choose this over to, of course, public and press on search. And now you're going to get all the results from the public side. So I just added that extra message in there just so that people know that they do have options and that there are lots of filters actually that you can actually search for. Under the account analytics area, if we go to either Rune Detail, Gem Optimizer, or Grind Optimizer, I did go through and add in the monster markers from in-game. By default, they are monster 1, 2, 3, and 4, and lock is what they have. And so those are available now. So in-game, I've actually added siege offense for one of my tags. I've gone through and marked on my Mi Yang, my Adriana, and my Sonia's. I have gone through and added those monsters as, quote, siege offense as far as their markings go. And so now when I go through and use the location filter and I choose siege offense, these are the runes that are currently on my quote, siege offense. So some nice functionality there. I did go through and update the plugin for SWGT Personal, so please go through and update your plugin. If you are using the latest version of SWGT, which is version 0.0.62, if you just close SWGT and reopen it, it'll prompt you to upgrade it. If you're using a much older version of SWGT, please upgrade to the latest version, and definitely grab the latest update for SWGT Personal plugin as well. Flipping over to the guild side, you'll notice that the guild side does have, of course, the logo updates. I did go through and make a whole bunch of changes. So if you were one of the first few guilds to subscribe to SWGT, you're going to have to go through and go into the setup menu and go into site setup and upload your own logo so that way you can get your logo back. Unfortunately, some of the changes that I've had to make were breaking, and so the old logos are no longer supported. There was a bug on the Discord bot side for the status of last updating as far as the guild name being double encoded. That means absolutely nothing to most people, but that was, of course, fixed. And then there was a bug under, if we go into a specific siege battle, there was a bug where if you go to guild members, if, for instance, I were to toggle off the mist for this person here that has missed all of their attacks, it would save it, but it wouldn't actually do the work in the summary page or any of the other screens. And it would not show properly here that it was actually toggled on. So that was a bug. I did go through and make that fix too.
And that's it for today. I just wanted to say a thank you to all the Patreon members who subscribe to SWGT and to all the people that constantly give feedback about the platform. It's only through your support and efforts that SWGT is what it is today. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. We all make SWGT better together. And with that, don't forget to smash those like buttons, and I'll see all of you on the battlefield.